were we talking about the ancient orders of the Masons and ancient religious orders and such? I was telling my friend here that, and I learned this from a Mason, and who was up pretty high in the Masons, and he took care of a lot of people, and he was he had a good job. He was a controller for the railroad, and he kept the trains from crashing. And he came and he took over my in-laws' family and straightened them out, got the kids into school, got them seeing psychiatrists, straightened them all out, gave them a lot of love. And he was a Mason, and he told me if a murderer came to his house in the middle of the night that had murdered someone, that he would be obliged to take that person in and hide him in the basement if they spoke the ancient language of the Masons and the ancient whatever. Because we know that the Masons came out of, I think the Coptics or something, out of the ancient order out of Egypt, where they originated. And it exists to this day. And then I know my grandfather was a Mason. He was a 33rd degree Grand Poobah in the Masonic Temple. And when he died, 3,600 people came to his funeral. That was one of the pallbearers. He took care of like 20 families during the Great Depression, way back when.
You mean in KC?
Yeah, back east in one of the big cities. And I know that the Masons have a lot of ancient knowledge. And so the idea being, as my father-in-law told me about the Mason, about if the murderer came, you would be obliged to take care of him if he spoke the ancient words. Because he would have the knowledge and the consciousness about karma carrying through from one lifetime to another lifetime due to the immortality of the soul, which they believe and were aware of. And if somebody killed someone in a previous lifetime, and then in this lifetime, the karma came back on them, and this
like
person that was a murderer was evening up the karma for the other person's murder in a previous life. Well, Masons understand that sort of thing.
So knock
and,
knock,
would
and
help.
then who is it? Mason.
Who is it?
Mason.
Mason who?
Free.
Mason free.
So what the ancient language like? Do you know? Example, please give us some example.
Keep on being free.
The ancient language you're talking about.
Keep the knowledge, pass it down, and know that we are not mushrooms.
Why?
Because we're kept in the dark, and we're fed crummy food, mud.
What? We have
humans.
Different.
We've been dumbed down, and our educations aren't very good, and we need to come into the light of day, the light of illumination, and know things. And thank God there are these ancient orders that keep this ancient knowledge and pass it down. The builders of all the big dome buildings and all the big buildings in our society that hold the energy. I have no further comments.
Well,
if you want to ask me a question.
no question. Just I don't want to argue about mushroom with you. So over mushroom. So I guess I will.
Oh, it's just
stop
referring
this
to
and
the
I'll
mushrooms grow in the dark, and usually in caves or dark rooms.
I think we
humans
are
need
mushroom.
to be in the light. I was just drawing that.
Because you don't like mushroom to eat. That's why you're saying that. But I think we are mushroom.
I
think
that.
we are mushroom.
Mushrooms grow in the dark, and
You said we are not mushrooms.
Humans need to grow in the light, not in the dark. That's what I would mean. We need to be out in the light, walk into the light, and come out of the dark,
Can I go back to dark?
and not live like mushrooms in the dark.